So everyone gets to listen to me for a little bit. Try to keep this interesting. It's always interesting the second time around, I guess. See if I can mimic it the best I can the first time. But so I'd like to give you a little thoughts of 2018 and then a few for 2019. But of course, it's been my honor to deliver this State of the City address for the second year. We have many accomplishments this past year, but also recognize that work continues to be done. I believe citizens in the community can feel in a few different ways about their city where they live. They can feel proud, discouraged, or content, or involved, forgotten, or excited. I understand that there's a lot more than that, but I want the citizens of Rock Island to feel proud, involved, and excited about our city. Pride in our community, involved in our decisions, and excited about living the future of Rock Island. Excitement is the goal, but we have to have the first two, pride and involved. We will always continue to move forward. Those in charge of moving us forward include hundreds of city employees, directors, the city manager, and your elected officials. I feel extremely confident that we have the right people in place to make necessary changes the citizens of Rock Island deserve. First, I'll go through what has transpired this past year by each department as accomplishments they've made throughout 2018, and then conclude with some thoughts of 2019. Our Community Economic Development Department has seen many accomplishments this year. The CED department is responsible for many different aspects: development, inspections, zoning, CURLIF loans, facade grants, building permits, HUD grants, the community activities, amongst, believe it or not, other things. And I bring this up because sometimes people think of economic development as just that, bringing economic development, but this department does many other activities throughout the city. This past year, they've had developments that have brought in 300 jobs to the community, new investments topping $27 million, handled 3,000 permits, 3,200 building inspections, 1,300 permits, 2,400 nuisance violations, and over 700 health inspections. They've oversaw a redevelopment, a little urban park, pocket park on 30th Street and 14th Avenue. Garden sites, they've increased a good number of garden sites throughout the city and turned what were just either blighted homes, torn down, or just empty lots, turned them in very productive. And we've calculated that these gardens produced over $65,000 worth of groceries. 11 facade grants, totaling $65,000. Over $1 million in HUD grants, Douglas Park, cameras, sidewalks, amongst other things, improving the safe walk to school with the sidewalks, improving the appearance down at Douglas Park and making it ADA accessible, put in a mural down there, and a number of other items down there, along with cameras throughout the city in intersections or neighborhoods to help with safety. Demolition of several blighted homes. And then a couple items that they were involved with, but it did not cost the city money, was the demolition of the former Case plant and the Norcross boot factory. 37 housing rehab projects, $187,000, whether it be loans or grants, to help people have livable homes. Conducted a summer archaeological program at MLK and aided in Douglas Park mural, both those two items. I got involved a little bit and went down and saw the kids in the architectural dig and took what was just what you would say is a normal site, and it was amazing to see those kids and the involvement that they had. You know, sometimes I feel a piece of glass and they'd be asking, what do you think this is? And then they talked about next time you talk to them, and they did some research and found out it was depression glass, or in some cases just regular. But they found pottery, they found all different kinds of things. But the excitement in the kids and involvement of sifting through the dirt was very, very rewarding to see something like that happen. So once again, helping with the kids get involved and maybe taking up a archaeological as a job. Translated home rehab brochures into other languages. A number of immigrants and refugees had a tough time reading what we have to offer. The other city documents also in 4 different languages. Partnered with other Illinois cities for lead-based painting. We received a grant of $2.4 million over 3 years along with other cities. So once again, collaborating with our fellow Illinois communities. New enterprise zone. We lost this enterprise zone, a very helpful tool for economic development last March, and the city of Rock Island, along with other Illinois cities, applied for a new enterprise zone and was granted that, but they worked very hard at getting that to happen. 2 opportunity zones that we were able to accomplish. We're the only ones in the Illinois Quad Cities that were offered these, and so it's another opportunity for economic development. Updated the downtown street plan. Got that more updated and current with what's going on. More involvement in the neighborhoods. I couldn't tell you how many different activities they got involved with, along with other departments, the fire department, the police department, but CCC holding their neighborhood picnics, other neighborhoods holding ribbon cuttings for streets, that renovations, blighted houses come down. The CE department was there helping get those orchestrated, along with the refugees, holding an open house with the refugees and immigrants for the first time and helping them understand what tools are available to them, bringing to them vendors like the Metrolink bus or Blackhawk College or the school system, local school system, once again helping them understand the tools and availability to help them grow and prosper in the United States. Town hall meetings. We had a number of ward meetings, but we also had the first larger town hall meeting called Unplugged. Great success, good number of people there. We plan on doing that again this year in 2019. But we had a lot of good comments and feedback from people that, once again, showing transparency and openness and availability to the public. These are all very positive for the city of Rock Island, and I commend the work from all the employees to make this happen. Before we move on, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge a man this department and the entire city recently lost. Lieutenant Colonel retired Thomas Ayers passed away at his home December 25th after a tough battle with cancer. Tom's contributions to Rock Island for the past 18 years as chief building official and his service to our country were extraordinary, along with to the community. Our condolences once again go out to Tom's wife, children, his father, and family for their loss. The police department, as of November 30th, 2018, a comparison of Part 1 Uniform Crime Reports offenses, try to get this correct, I'm going to read this, but murders, criminal sexual assaults, robbery, aggressive assault, burglars, thefts, motor vehicle thefts, arson, are 9% lower than they were in 2017. While Part 1 crimes, designated as violent offenses, murder, criminal sexual assault, and aggravated assault, are 35% lower than in 2017. Once again, another nice decrease in crime. And of course, we don't want to pound our chest too hard because it can circle back around. We can have problems again. But we have seen a trend down over the number of years, which is outstanding what the officers are doing out there. Installed additional intersection cameras for 4 intersections that can be used for traffic and criminal investigations. Revamped their recruitment program, being able to increase the number of new police applicants. For 2018, we had 317 applicants compared to 196 in 2016. So once again, people are looking to work in Rock Island. was awarded the reaccreditation in 2018, being certified as a Tier 2 accredited police agency through the Illinois Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Rock Island is the only police agency within the Illinois Quad Cities to be accredited and has been since 2013. Once again, a great accomplishment. Reorganized the structure of the department to create the Tactical Operation Division, where it's focused on investigation of violent crimes and firearms related to crimes. Once again, by doing this reorganization, continues to help reduce the crime rate. Police Officer Doug Williams was honored as 2018 Police Officer of the Year at the Knights of Columbus Civic Awards ceremony. Fire Department conducted the Operation Prom program at Rock Island High School. Was designated a 5-star fire-safe community by Northern Illinois Fire Sprinkler Advisory. Once again, taking on a controversial issue, stuck to it. City Council was willing to stick to this, and we got recognition for it. Partnered with Red Cross Quad Cities for the Sound Alarm campaign, as well as the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance to install free smoke alarms. 5 probationary members successfully completed basic firefighting academy training. Firefighter Cody Bauer was honored as 2018 Firefighter of the Year for Knights of Columbus Civic Award ceremony. Upgraded the fire reporting software to be more user-friendly and to streamline the submission of reports to FEMA. Continued community outreach to train citizens in CPR, doing continued outreach programs, and once again, meeting the citizens, working with the citizens of Rock Island. Once again, as the police department has done, CED has done. And I know that it was great to watch. I'll go back to the open house we had for the immigrants and refugees, to watch those kids climb around the equipment and feel safe, that these people are not there to harm them, but to work with them and help them. And so once again, all those departments continue to encourage that involvement. Received the 2018 EMS Bronze Award from the American Heart Association Mission, lifelong program for outstanding care of patients suffering from cardiac arrest, stroke, or heart attacks. All fire department paramedics successfully recertified in advanced cardiac life support. So once again, continued education, making sure that we've got the best out there and they're well trained in current technologies. Public Works. City staff implemented the flood stage strategy plan as the river rose, which included installing pumps and closing gate walls. This year, I don't know if it's a record, but I believe it was 3 times at least they've had to implement this plan. And so it's, once again, shows great organization skills and consistency and to be able to respond at a minute's notice. The Municipal Service Division partnered with the Rock Island Milan School District to replace sidewalks in front of the Math and Science Academy in Fransford Willard. Once again, community involvement, partnering with other agencies and people in the Quad Cities, and helping the kids safe walk to school. There was a lot of sidewalks replaced this last year to make sure that they had a safe way. LED light conversion were completed to city-owned lights in the Southwest Industrial Park and several other locations. And we've partnered with Mid-America Energy on their poles and have a contract with them to make sure that those get converted to LED also, and working to make the city efficient and looking forward. Work on long-term control plan was completed in 2018. This was a number of years in working, and continuing to make sure that we can treat water, storm and sewer water, and put it back into the Mississippi better than what we found it. And so kudos to that long-term commitment from the city over these years. Construction of the new water filtration facility, which is replacing a 109-year-old filtration building, is now over 50% complete. It's about a $20 million project. I would hate to say well overdue. We want to make sure we've got our money's worth, but we've had good water, great quality of water over the years, but it's now time to catch up, be more efficient on how we do that. The engineering division is managing two major resurfacing projects on 18th Avenue from 17th Street to the Moline border and 38th Street from 7th Avenue to Black Hawk Road. Two major thoroughfares throughout our city are going to be resurfaced. They started 18th Avenue last year with some of the ADA installations and the subgrade on some patching, and then this year when the construction season starts, they'll resurface 18th Avenue and then get started with 38th Street. The engineering division also assisted and managed several community development block grants, CDBG projects for the Community Economic Development Department, which included fiber optic lines and security cameras, installations, sidewalk repair mentioned by Longfellow School this time. And so continuing to work on that and getting people an opportunity to have fiber optic lines for speed of communication. We've got a new management group running Sunset Marina called F3. They just started this fall, and that should help improve the quality of service there's down there. These people are experts in the marina industry, and we hope to be able to pick up some new business there. Information Technology Department worked closely with Rock Island Public Library to install a new time management system and self-service printing systems for public use, as I think we heard Angela talk about earlier in the work session. Worked with the police department and CED to install 34 new public safety cameras for busy intersections in Rock Island, 11th Street, the Arsenal Bridge entryway, to give a couple examples. Upgraded the finance department's utility billing system to meet current security standards. We all hear about hacks these days and everything else, and once again want to try to stay on top of that and make sure that we prevent any situations. Implemented new communication technology for both wastewater and water filtration systems. IT continues to explore and implement technology solutions that address open data, transparency in local government, smart city initiatives, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, and community engagement. Once again, a theme that we've had, I know, for the last several years of transparency, ease of mobility, and working through the system to understand what the city is doing with their tax dollars. And so they work very hard at trying to make that as simple as possible. And if it works for me, it'll work for anybody. I tell you that. That's for sure. But so IT as a department, sometimes people don't think about an involvement because they're not out in the public and out in the face, but they are very key behind the scenes. Finance department. The city's bond rating was updated in November, and the negative outlook was removed. The rating is A2, stable, which is in the middle of the investment grade categories. The city's 2019 budget was approved with a mixture of expenditure reductions, revenue increases, and use of reserves. And that was done just here recently, and I know the painstaking that we've had the conversations up here with elected officials, along with staff. Those were not easy decisions to be made on where to make cuts, where to increase revenue, and we want to make sure that we stay as a very solid, financially stable city. The city received a General Finance Officers Association Award for its audit and budget documents. Once again, confirming that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing with the numbers, making sure that everything is, checks and balances are in place, and that we know where we are going in the future. The Finance Department made it easier for businesses to remit its local taxes and report to the city. They can now do so through the website. Once again, making things and items more convenient for the citizens. They don't have to leave their home. If they can't or don't wish to, they can do it electronically. Human Resources. Human Resources held its 8th annual benefit fair in April 2018. This event, in partnership with Rock Island County, there were 68 vendors there, 170 city employees, and 173 county employees in attendance. Once again, educating, working with the staff to make sure that they know what's available with their benefits as they follow their career. Maintained a flat renewal for the commercial insurance program, trying to control costs. Key staff hires this past year included development program manager, a fleet manager, utility superintendents, 7 police officers, and 8 firemen. Introduced the 360-degree review for non-affiliate employees and managers, which was the city council's objective we talked about in goal setting. Once again, it's trying to make sure that they get all different views of different people, what people are, how are they performing. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center received a new $121,000 state grant to serve youth 11 through 17. That's an age group that gets forgotten a lot of times. You see a lot in daycares, you see a lot in activities after school, before and after school with tutoring, spring forward, etc. And this is an age group that gets forgotten sometimes, and they're right at that age of forming their thoughts and opinions in the future. And so it's a very important grant for them to be able to work with those kids as they're developing who they want to be and what they want to do. And so this is a great program that they're implementing here. Improved youth literacy rates in summer day camp and after-school programs. They partnered, once again, is a common theme, partnering with other people with Spring Forward, working with kids and educating, making sure they try to stay on top of what's going on. Revitalized Family Fun Day and introduced the drill team showdown with the Metro Youth Program. Boy, if you haven't heard them and worked with them, that's inspiring. I'll tell you, that's a lot of energy there. Served over 2,000 youth in 2018. It's a lot of people. The library. Programs drew a record of nearly 19,000 people in 2018, which is a 10% increase in prior years. You talk about people sitting there saying, do you need libraries anymore? Are they really reading books? And this shows that there's a 10% increase in people coming to visit the libraries. So they must be doing something right, or we wouldn't see this. Refreshed furnishings in the children's room at the downtown library, thanks to a grant from the foundation that we heard from earlier. Launched hashtag Rocktown Reads. It's a lot of fun. I remember doing that when we had the school function down at Schriever Park, with an initiative for community partners, such as the Martin Luther King Center, Spring Forward Learning Center, and the Rock Island Mountain Schools. Collaboration, 3 different units there. Implemented Rocket Into Reading, a new literacy program for kids 6 through 10. Very important that they continue to learn to read. Staff attendance. Staff attended nearly 150 outreach programs in 2018, many of which promoted library card registration. Once again, think about it, 150 times you're out there someplace. At schools, at picnics, whatever it is. That's a lot of times in staff and resources to go out and do it, and planning, 150 times. Expanding upon their collection, the library now circulates Wi-Fi hotspots and board games, and has also implemented the first seed library in the area to encourage community gardening and sharing of these seeds. Once again, if you remember, I talked about these community gardens. I believe there's 20-some odd gardens. And to get those seeds and know what type of seeds. And so they're helping facilitate that. Once again, somebody might buy some seeds and have more than they need. And so they go to waste. This way, they're able to make sure that they get the right seeds, share it to make it be productive. Community-based strategic planning for the library, which was a success. The plan is complete and will be implemented at the beginning of 2019. We happened to just hear that a half hour ago. Park and Rec Department. Phase 1 of Douglas Park, Big Diamond, parking lot, concession stand, press box, batting cage, community playground were all completed. These are completed. There was a huge investment by both the city and private individuals in this case. There was over $500,000 invested in that park so far, and it's doing an outstanding job. But you wouldn't believe in how the public or the private has come together for that. in not only their dollars that they pledged, but in the sweat equity that they're putting into it. And we've had that success in other areas, whether it be Hallberg Center, as an example, that what happens when you partner together with the private and the public system and what you can accomplish. There really is no end to that. It continues to make improvements. It's an outstanding facility. The First Tee Learning Center, short course, driving range, project completed at Highland Springs. Once again, working with the youth. We are now, I believe, there's now 4 courses, 4 courses, 5 places in the Quad Cities that have First Tee, helping the youth learn how to play golf, but in some cases it just helps building self-esteem and what they can accomplish by spending a little time. And it's great activity and physically. Over 36,000 visits to Whitewater Junction, over 200,000 visits to Rifac, over 45,000 visits to Saukey and Highland Springs golf courses. Over 15,000 people went to Red, White, and Boom. They held the 62nd annual Starlight Review Concert. And a wonderful concert that is if you go up there in Lincoln Park and listen to that Thursday nights, I believe. Tuesday nights. Thursday nights down at Shreveport. But I want to make a mention here that some people have talked about in budget cuts and everything else, the Rifac and the golf courses. Those 3 facilities are self-sustaining and actually bring in the revenue for the park board. The Park and Rec Board finances 2/3 of its budget itself. The city then funds the other 1/3, roughly. So those amenities that the city have are profitable and a great amenity for the city. Over $30,000 was raised through local sponsorships to the park programs. Completed a reorganization of the Park Maintenance Division into Public Works. This resulted in Public Works being able to fill vacant positions at no increased expense to the general fund, or it has given the Park Recreation Department more maintenance resources. Once again, reviewing and looking at how to save money. They're sort of saying if we combined our staff, it gives more flexibility and can save money, helping with vacations and sick days. And if there's large projects, they can partner together and have increased labor force on a specific project, or decreased if things happen to be going fine. So that was a very good process. Completed the installation of a new ADA shelter and playground at Hodge Park. So people forget about Hodge Park. Great little park and buried in the residential area. And it's got a lot of character. Completed phase 1 of tuck pointing at the Hallberg Civic Center and repaired all the plumbing in the mansion. As I mentioned before, public and private partnership. Several years ago, this was something that was on, I hate to say the wrecking ball, but it was to be sold as excess inventory, and it was found a way to revitalize the life of that building and turned it into something very positive. And there's a lot of sweat equity going into that of private industries, private dollars, along with the help of the city. It's a great hidden jewel. Renovate the bathrooms and concession stand at the Allen Campbell Sports Complex. New ADA bleachers were installed at Ben Williamson Park. Douglas Park and the Rock Island Independent Football Team were designated into the NFL Hall of Fame Traveling Museum. Now, we mentioned NFL. Speaking of NFL, if you haven't heard the news, which you'd have to be under a rock, I think, at this point, but Rock Island is going to be part of the NFL draft this spring. April 27th, we're going to have live broadcast of the NFL draft here, along with some other events. Great, exciting thing to happen. And once again, I guess I'll back that up. Those that don't know, one of the first NFL football games was played right here in Rock Island at Douglas Park. And so their 100th anniversary, they're bringing the draft pick back to help honor that. As you've just heard, a lot of work has been done this past year, and I'm honored to work next to so many great people, whether it be elected, whether it be city staff, and the citizens of the committee, all the different committees and everything else. It's been a great honor and pleasure. It's easy to talk about the accomplishments. Now let's look at some of the hard realities, which we need to do once in a while. We need more development. Not easy. We've had some good development in 2018. Some great projects came forth. We got some of them done. Some are on the cusp of being done. Some should be happening this spring. But we need more. And it takes a lot of hard work by everybody. CE Department, Chandler's group, works very hard at trying to make that happen. Whether it's for the Watchtower location, downtown, or beyond, we need more. There's no doubt about it. We need to find ways to stabilize our budget. As of right now, our financial position is solid, but that will not continue if we don't commit to making difficult decisions. And expenses are rising, as a lot of households have talked about. Revenues are flat. Everybody knows that's a recipe for financial failure. We cannot go on without expense cuts that might affect core services. And I say might. I'm saying they will, but they might. We've been asking departments to do more with less. We're going to have to continue to produce a balanced budget each year. Without using reserve funds. We should not be using reserve funds. It will not happen if we continue to handle business as normal. This is saying that we do need, in 2019, really dig deep and take a look at what we're going to see for revenues for 2019 and 2020 and 2021, and try to project those out along with the revenues, the expenses and revenues. This could mean, as I mentioned before, might, that core services may have to change. Core services being how many fire stations we have, how many routes do we have to plow the streets, how many employees do we have, what streets we repair, how many streets, if any, garbage collection. It could be, there's a lot of different core services that the city offers that we've been able to offer premium quality service to our citizens. Collecting leaves. You can go on. We've got to take a look at those and say, are those things that we can still continue to do? Where should we make the cuts if we need to make those cuts? But that's going to have to happen in 2019. Start looking at those things so we don't get caught off guard in the future. Not pleasant things to look at or talk about, but a necessary evil. There are many positive things on the horizon. We just need to keep collecting wins. The number of wins will outweigh the one big score, and we are in a great position to do that. There will be more community outreach ideas. We started a new task force called Technology and Sustainability. Positive thing. Taking a look throughout the city. This is going to be happening in 2019, is one of the things. Taking a look through the city is how can we be more efficient? How can we be more environmentally sound and stable and sustainability? Whether it be LED lighting, whether it be solar panels, whether it be just new air handling equipment, whatever it may be. But this committee and the staff are taking a look at where those make feasible sense and hope to be able to save the city some money along with being green. Great new project that's on the horizon here. We will continue to grow and foster partnerships. We'll always look for the new opportunities and the benefits for the city. The resilience of Rock Island's residents is great. Our community pride is strong. So once again, thank you for all your time. I look forward to bringing excitement in Rock Island in 2019. And this town rocks, that's for sure. Thank you.